So, hello to you all. Good morning. It's early morning in Croatia, and I'm Jasmina Žiljak. I'm a storyteller and drama educator from Split, from Croatia. I'm doing that for now more than 10 years, 15 years, 15 years. And I'm doing storytelling in kindergartens, schools, museums, galleries, on festivals, international festivals here in Croatia. And I'm doing education for educators, teachers, tourist guides, and everyone who is interested in storytelling and in drama education. Basically, I'm a teacher. I'm graduated as a teacher, and I was actress in youth theater in Split, and was leading lots of workshops for children, for adults, and for youth as well. Today, I'm here because I want to represent one very interesting way of storytelling using kamishibai. I didn't mention that I also write for children. So I published one therapeutic stories about proud elephant. But I would like to share my experience, and I hope that maybe it can give you some ideas and how to work with children, but also with adults. Probably you know that kamishibai is one very old Japanese technique. In the beginning of 20th century, it was very popular in Homeland when one sellers of candies, the legend is like that, in fact put butai on a bicycle, and by riding a bicycle he came to square and he gently asked the children with two wooden sticks he found to come and to listen to stories, because in kamishibai there were drawings, beautiful drawings, and afterwards he sold candies to children. Of course, the truth is that kamishibai is much older, and then in fact in a Buddhist temples, priests was telling stories to people who couldn't read, moral stories and historical stories using pictures on silk. So it's very, very interesting, the history of kamishibai. But and now I would like to say something about advantages. And I was talking with Eric that maybe it would be interesting to say about advantages and disadvantages of storytelling with kamishibai. I'm doing storytelling with kamishibai and without. Now maybe you can see the pictures. I would like to share some pictures. Eric, if you can, we can share the pictures now.
Yes.
In fact, this mosaic of children, young children, young children in the kindergarten. I'm doing a storytelling with kamishibai and beautiful illustrations made by Mia Čulić, who is a very talented young woman. In fact, it's one dramatized way of telling a story. So a surprise of opening that butai, that wooden suitcase bag, it's very it's one very exciting event for children. And I also doing different activities, creative activities connected with the story. So the end of the story, it's not the end of the story. It's maybe a beginning. And also that story can be a part of our soul and of our body. I let them, as you can see, to touch that wooden butai and to open it and to be gaito and to tell the story with the sticks and so on. And also I mixed the pictures, and I let them to make the story they heard, but also to create other story with the same pictures. In that way, you can develop, of course, their imagination, vocabulary, but also other skills, intellectual and motoric skills. You can see on the left educators in the kindergarten, in fact, in a nursery, because I'm doing that as well in nursery, but in the other way, with lots of motoric movements, and in kindergarten. Okay, on the other mosaic puzzle, you can see adults, older children and adults, because I'm doing that in libraries and in school as well, because of course fairy tales are part of our curriculum. Unfortunately, storytelling and drama education still it's not part of curriculum, but I hope that it will be changed soon. You can see a promotion of my book here, therapeutic book. And in fact, I wanted to tell the story also to children, because it was unusual promotion for adults, for pedagogues, for parents, but also for children. And I tried to make it interested with Kamishibai and illustrations by Martin Zalar, who is another artist, very talented artist from Split. So I'm very grateful to work with those very successful and talented people. So Kamishibai is connecting every generation, can connect every generation. And on the third mosaic little puzzle that I made, you can see performing. This is a performance because I'm doing art of storytelling performance, of course, without Kamishibai, where you can see that mime and the gesture, it's expressive and it's very important. I don't have a tool. I don't have a stick to lay on. I only have myself. And that is sometimes advantage or disadvantage. But of course, people can imagine what they want. They can participate in a different way. You can see that on the back that there are lots of children and adults. This is my performing when I mixed about 10 stories and fairy tales without any pause, and they are like one fairy tale. It's something that I create here in Split or on festivals around Croatia as well. And we have one puzzle more, I think.
Should we go to the next picture?
Yes, please. The last one. And this is storytelling with Kamishibai, as you can see, working with adults. This was education for touristic guys in Šibenik in Corona time, as you can see, connected with the creative writing and representing some old objects from our Dalmatian kitchen, and storytelling of our folk fairy tales and the legends, which is very important for interpreters of heritage, of our heritage. So maybe that this can be an idea that for using Kamishibai. This is external Kamishibai. This is international children's festival in Šibenik, in theater and outside the theater because of weather. And I want to say that Kamishibai is very good motivation for children to create their own story, not just to learn about heritage, but to make their own story and to draw that story on paper. So they were very motivated to explain the pictures and all details and to represent the story to their friends. And that is very important because I was a witness that children, in fact, generally speaking, are not motivated to communicate, to tell a story, to have eye contact. And that is, I do believe, a big problem of our modern generation, connected and, let's say, addicted to digital tools, which are necessary, but they can put us away from our humanity and communication. And my mission is to develop communication skills and storytelling skills and creative writing using our beautiful folk tales, but also folk tales, legends, and fairy tales from all over the world. That is just a piece of that I wanted to share. If somebody wants now to make some questions, I would like to hear it. And then I would like to present you one Croatian short fairy tale that I like very much. And the title is King's Daughter. So please, if you want to ask something, to give a comment, please be free to ask.
Are there traditions you know of in Croatia of storytellers using visuals along with their storytelling? Is there a history of that?
You think, Eric, about Kamishibai or any other
No,
visual?
I'm asking any homegrown, for example, among the Christian preachers or people who are telling Christian stories. Do they use visuals along with their telling stories from the Bible?
No. Usually no. At least I don't know for that. But when we are talking about storytellers that I know in Croatia, Mariana also can say something if she wants, but they use kamishibai, some of them don't. I use, for example, some other elements or tools like candles, like instruments of orff, for example. This is, in fact, for nursery. Maracas, let's say maracas instrument, but very little. Then I have a triangle. I have bigger maracas. But this is something that I use usually after the story. This is my helper in activities afterwards. For example, if the story is about music and about confidence and about how to be a good friend, we can use this instrument for exercise afterwards to children in pairs. And for example, person A is making sounds and the person B is following without seeing, following his friend without touching and without seeing. So this is very good also drama exercise. How to develop confidence, but also how to be connected with music and how to be good listener. So I put one exercise more, and I give them a challenge also to make a harmony. So those persons A who are making a sounds have to be harmonized with that rhythm, and of course always to watch and to guide with sound his or her friend. Also some scene in the story can be can be alive using instruments afterwards. Lots of sensoric moments and sensoric tools, like, for example, cars in different colors, also can be used in a story. Okay, the colors of India. And this is a very relaxing, can be very relaxing dance, or we can draw, we can paint the air, and we can put some pictures, imagine some pictures, and do that with the scarves on the air. So very important activities is after the storytelling is relaxing and developing imagination. And for that, you can use anything you want. For example, magic sticks made of or wood or grass or whatever you want. So in fact, the tools are everything can be your tool for creative activities. I hope that answered your questions.
Yes, that's fine. Thank you very much.
Of course, some people use digital tools, and they have some modern visual elements, but I prefer to use kamishibai, art illustrations or illustrations made by children to tell the stories.
May I share something?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, Jasmina, thank you so much. So I just wanted to tell you when you said about the children, drawing the pages and all, I do remember that once we had a project about best out of waste. So the children were encouraged to make from packing boxes a kamishibai box. So they had made that as a project, and the drawings which they did on their own, they built up their own stories. So we had an activity class where the children were very happy to share the stories, And I just wanted to ask you this kamishibai box. Have you ordered and made this box, or is it available online? Do you order this box and make?
Thank you for asking. Yes, I ordered this from Spain, but now I think that, yes, online you can find the different sources and people who make kamishibai. And someone who is capable, I'm not, for example, can make kamishibai by himself from I don't know, old shelves, or, for example, cartoon boxes and so on, pizza boxes. I saw different kinds of kamishibai. I'm not so capable. So yes, I ordered it.
Because the parents often ask for the cost actually. Now you tell me about the advantages. Yes, it is. It motivates children. And how many children do you think when you use the kamishibai story, you're taking activity because they have to sit on the floor. And because the space is, it doesn't go to a much further range. How do you think should be in the class when you're having a kamishibai?
Very good question. Thank you, Vina. Well, not more than 26. I think that one class or one group, kindergarten group, is enough. So this is not for lots of people, because it's not visible, because the quality of visualization, it's not good. And so I'm doing with little groups, I'm doing with intimate atmosphere, because of kamishibai, because of children, because of quality, and because of course, the elements and the tools that I have. So sometimes they can share it, of course, in little groups, but that is very important. So kamishibai is not a screen, it's not something visual, it's not something but I think that kamishibai is in frequency of storytelling, because we all have to do before storytelling. I cannot, for example, do this or now tell a story if my energy and frequency of our busy life today is on speed. you have to do storytelling in peace. And that's why, first of all, I can do some with children, some very calm exercise. For example, just breathing from the stomach. And then to hear the silence, because it's very important to hear the silence, and that silence is also in Kamishibai. Maybe that would be a good introduction to this folk tale, if you want now to hear it, if you would like to hear it. Is that okay?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Yes,
Thank
very
you for, yes. And afterwards we can talk more. You can ask more. Let's be a tree. Choose whatever kind of tree you want. Just be connected to the floor. And just breathe from your stomach. Like the top of the tree. Inhale, exhale. It's time for a story. The title is King's Daughter. It's Croatian folk tale. Once upon a time, there was a king, and he had a very, very beautiful daughter. She was so beautiful that even the sun was shy to shine in the morning in front of her light. Suitors, young princes came to her, but she rejected them all because she fell in love with a young shepherd. He sang and he played the flute amazingly. The people said that every day she went to the forest just to see him. And one day she came in front of him and said, "I'm a king's daughter, and my father would like me to marry a prince. But I don't want to do that because I fell in love with you. And I came today to ask you to marry me, if you agree." Bah, bah, bah. And the shepherd gathered the sheep and ran away home. Bah! Soon, a big army crossed the kingdom. The enemy imprisoned king and the king's family, and the princess as well. They imprisoned her in the highest fortress. Enemy declared, "Only the one who is so brave and so clever to rescue the princess will marry her and will rule the whole kingdom." Lots of young princes, men, tried to help her and tried to rescue her, but no one succeeded. Do you know why? 7-headed dragon guarded her, and he He ate anyone that tried to rescue her. Dragon ate anyone who even tried to rescue her. And then a shepherd heard about princess. He remembered that one princess proposed him and he decided to help her. But before he left the house, he decided to make a new flute. Flute made of hazelnut tree, because he knew that the hazelnut tree is a magic tree, a tree who has a secret power. From magic wood, a music will be magic too. I will make a new flute, and with that sound, I will bewitch the dragon. I know that dragon likes the music. And when I bewitch the dragon, I will save a princess, he planned. But he made a flute, and to get to castle, he had to pass a deep wood. So during that walk, he was playing the flute a bit. He was praying a God a bit. He was playing a flute a bit. He was praying a God a bit. And when he achieved the castle, in front of that big iron gate, he started to play some melody so beautiful, so gentle, that even the wind stopped just to listen. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. He was playing a flute 3 days and 3 nights. And the third night, somewhere about the midnight, a big gate opened a little. And the big dragon, 7-handed dragon, showed up. But Shepherd wasn't afraid. He held his flute and he just played. He played. And then the dragon came out. The earth trembled and it started to rain. Little rain and then bigger. And the sky was full of feathers. But you know what? The shepherd wasn't. He just held his flute and he played. He played. And then the rain stopped. And the dragon was delighted. He was so bewitched by music that he closed his eyes and followed the sounds. And the shepherd used the opportunity and he jumped into the castle and closed the door. And the dragon was very, very mad. He was left in front of the castle. So he was knocking and knocking with his big tail. But the shepherd wasn't scared. He just held his flute. And he played. He played. He played until he noticed the silence. Because the dragon was really, really tired. And finally, he fell asleep. And that was the sign that it's time. It's time to find a princess. And the shepherd was running from room to room, 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 from room to room. And he find a princess. Where? Do you remember where? Yes, at the top, in the highest quarters. As soon as he noticed him, she glows. She glowed. And then he asked, "Beautiful princess, would you marry me?" And she answered, "I already told you that you are mine." She smiled. Then he took her very gently. He brought her out of the castle. He married her, and he ruled the whole kingdom. And that's how one shepherd became a king. Is it true or is it not? That's what I have been told. Dear all, usually, thank you. I'm not doing this interruption when I'm doing storytelling with children. As you can see, I told just half of the story with Kamishibai and the other half without Kamishibai. Why? Because I respect your time, and I said to Eric that 1 hour is enough. It's not enough. So maybe also it would be boring to hear the same story 2 times, and that's why I divided it in this way. But I don't want to leave you without seeing those beautiful pictures for the other half of story made by Mia Čulić. It's important to cooperate with people and to make connection with different kind of art in storytelling. So be free to use sounds, to make sounds, to motivate children to make rain by their body, because it's magical. And I do believe that those illustrations are also magical. So you can imagine how it would be like to listen the whole story in Kamishibai, or maybe just listening to the storyteller. So now I will be quiet, and I would like to hear what you think about advantages or disadvantages of first and the second style of storytelling. I'm really, I would be grateful to hear your opinions if you want. Do you have any questions?
Can I?
Yes, of course. Vina.
Beautiful storytelling and even more beautiful picture cards. I am a Kamishibayan also practicing. But I strongly believe that, especially with young, small children, I have been a preschool, primary school teacher. So they interact very well with visuals. And visuals don't really distract, but because of Gardner's multiple intelligences, different people learn with different styles. So the children who learn with visual and not so much with audio, this helps them to connect to the story and imagine for themselves. So that's what I feel. Both the tellings, of course, were beautiful. So happy for you.
Thank you, Vienna. I have to say that I agree with you, because little children psychologically are in fact connected with pictures, with illustrations. So I think that for them it's yes, it's very very joyful, and it's very can be useful. Mariana Mrvoš, Mare, my colleague and my friend. Yes,
Yes,
Mariana.
I just wanted to answer to your question. For me, I agree with Vina. For young children, it's definitely they enjoy the visual and all the helping elements where they can interact and they can be a participant. But for me personally, as an adult, I prefer more just the plain storytelling because with the visual, sometimes I just start creating my own story inside the story. And sometimes when I hear the voice, because I'm more audio person, I enjoy the voice and then I go into my imagination. So that's the benefit for me when I just hear the storytelling. Thank you for telling. It was great as always. And I enjoyed you being so playful and joyful. So thank you for that.
Have I seen both of you on the Kamshi by Tara McGowan and the Walter Ritter program?
Not me. Maybe Jasmina.
I'm really not sure, but
Tara McGowan and Walter Ritter from they lead that program for Kamshi Bai, and there's one going on in San Diego this time in person, but every month or something they have a online program.
Maybe
well,
somebody else from Croatia is participating.
Yeah, maybe somebody else,
Yes.
but Mariana,
Yes.
I thought it was you. No?
No, no. I have Kamishibai, but I don't use it.
yes.
All
Maybe
right,
I would like to see that and hear that, but
maybe you should do a
maybe.
program with Tara McGowan also. Then we get to see you again. Okay, bye bye.
Yes. Okay. Thank you for offering. I would like to hear something more about that. So you can write me if you want, Vienna. And now I would ask you gently if you want to do some exercise with me together. I'm doing lots of pronunciation exercises with children, and I put one in the story. Maybe you know what I mean with that. From room to room, from room to room. So you can make speech exercises by imagine them and putting them in a story, and then put them out, and then make it with children interesting with movement. So, as you know, you cannot explain to children why it is so important to breathe from a stomach and so on, about inhale, exhale, and so on. But it's important to be like a game, to make them like they are doing game. So you can, with children, you can go room to room, room to room. Just move your body, and of course you can be mute, but try to say it from room to room, from room to room, from room to room. If you want, you can do it now. From room to room, 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 from room to room. And it's very important to put together movement and the sound. And the sound who is very, very quick, because in that way we move our mouth, and in fact our tongue became flexible, and that is very, very important for pronunciation, for communication, because usually nowadays I think that our tongue is sleeping, that our communication is sleeping, and that's a pity. You can try to do something in Croatian. For example, kiša pada, lišće šušti, slušam vjetar kako šušti. Uh-huh. Okay, it's too much. But you can say, for example, lišće šušti. If you want to try, that means that the leaves are making a sound, beautiful sound. Lišće šušti. I know that Mariana knows how to pronounce that, but if somebody wants to try it, it would be nice. Of course, those exercises can be read on internet, on books, but it is interesting that you made your own exercises with children. In that way, they will be more motivated to say it. Lišće šušti. Who wants to try?
Shoshti. Lišće shoshti.
Good, that's great. Lišće šušti.
Thank you.
Lišće šušti. Lišće šušti. Lišće šušti. And now you can imagine the children, they are walking like they are walking on the leaves. On autumn. So you mixed, in fact, that movement and that joy of playing with the leaves, lots of leaves on the ground on autumn, and saying lišće šušti, lišće šušti, lišće šušti, and to be quicker by saying and by walking. That could be very, very good and motivated with children. Because I do believe that our mission is to motivate children and adults as well to communicate, but in a good, noble, and human way. Because the stories make us more human. I want to represent you Croatian folk tales and the books. You can present them also to children and develop a reading culture too, because it's very important to develop listening culture, speaking culture, and of course the reading culture. So please motivate children that find that story in the book, to find the other beautiful stories, to know a heritage of your place, of your town, of your country, of your continent. I'm doing also dramatization and adaptations from stories all over the world, because I think that, of course, they are in some ways similar. We are talking about archetypes by Jung, if you read maybe that literature, and the importance of fairy tales. It's good described in a book of Bruno Bettelheim, the importance of stories. So I would like also to maybe motivate you to read those books and to be aware that you are doing great. You are all doing one very important job. Maybe in the end, I would like to say that I like this story because it's a message of love and of faith. Faith in love, faith in God, faith in music and in art, because Shepherd was so brave and so clever, but he was also very faithful. So the last, but maybe the first question of this session would be, what would your sound be? To paraphrase, what would your verse be? If you have seen a movie, Dead Poets Society, maybe, what will your verse be? Because I do believe that we don't have to be afraid. We have to just hold our flute, and play and play. So the last questions for you all is, what is your flute? What is your sound? What will your verse be? If you want to share that with us, if you don't want to share that, just write it down, because I think that's important, to be authentic and to do what you are supposed to do. But if you want to share with us, I will be glad to hear that.
Hey, Jasmina. I like the last ideas that you shared, especially with the pronunciation part, whatever ideas you shared, along with the body movements. I totally agree with you. I've seen in school and other centers wherever I've been, children always love all these silly words combination, and especially along with body movements, they just go crazy. We can't control them. That's what I've seen. Some of the things I've tried is like a turita, a turita, a turita. That goes, it goes along with the body movement, like thumbs up, shoulder shake, something like that. It goes along with that. And some simple, meaningless words also. Bong, bing, boo, Boo boo. La 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 loo. It's like they're free to do any kind of body movement they want. They can dance, they can shake. It's like it's like a magnet, you know. You can easily catch the attention of them, and they just quickly get along with the story.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
Jasmina, thank you for those wonderful ideas, especially with respect to pronunciation and a love for reading. I love that part of yourself. Thank you, Jasmina. I love.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your ideas. Harita, thank you very much.
Yes, Jasmina.
Somebody else?
Here is my
Vienna is showing
guitar.
her Kamishibai. It's so beautiful.
And गोष्ट गोष्ट गोठाडी कुंभार मडकं ठोठावी एक मडकं फुटलं त्यातून आल्या खूप गोष्टी गोष्ट means not meat but in my language it means story. So sometimes when just as you said that different languages you use and the children need to hear all these different sounds because it's not just English or it's just not the regional language. So I talk in my mother tongue and they're like, ma'am, we don't understand. So you go with the actions. So it says that there is a potter and he's baking a lot of pots, and as he's baking all those pots, of course he has stories in the pots. But hello, one pot breaks. And what happens? We storytellers tell all so many stories.
Yeah, from the pot. Thank
Yeah.
you for sharing, Vienna.
So,
I noticed the rhyme.
Yeah.
It's very important, especially with little children, to use rhyme.
I
Yeah.
just wanted to show you. May I show you one or two cards? Is that okay?
It's okay with me. I don't know what is about
I don't
time,
know
ahead.
Eric.
about time
Go
and
ahead.
Eric. Just
Yes, go
maybe
ahead.
just one card, maybe. So I'm not carrying the boutai because I've not placed it, but yeah, I take this to schools where the English is not too good, and this is compound words, and I ask them, what is a compound word first of all, because it is two words joined together which make a new word, like tooth and paste becomes toothpaste. But so it's a hair and cut, so it becomes a haircut. And then you have, what's this? What's this? What's this? What's this? So it's rain and drops. So things like that which help the children to learn. And again, because it's visual, it's more understand. And then they come up with so many more. They understand faster, and then the whole class is screaming. Thank you. Thank you, Jasmina. It was wonderful.
Thank you, Vienna, for sharing this. And I just appeared. I remember that I have to say that Kamishibai, in fact, is compound words. Kamishibai. Kami is a paper, and the Shibai is a play. So that is, in fact, paper theater. And also in Croatian, a female who is telling Kamishibai stories is Kamishibaika. Kamishibajac is a male. Kamishibaika is a female. So in fact, it's connecting two words, Kamishibai and Baika is a fairy tale. So in our Croatian language, Kamishibaika is compound words. It's interesting. It's very interesting. And in the end, I want to mention that Kamishibai can be motivation for reading, because just to show you that you can put the words on the other side of the pictures. So for example, this is a Japanese story. And in fact, on the back of the last picture, you have a text for the first picture. And when you move the first picture, you have a text for the second behind. Maybe it's different to explain, but in fact, it's easy. And you can motivate children to read or to read in pairs because they are insecure, and in that way to tell the stories. I prefer storytelling without reading those words, but some adults use also that. This is educational, let's say, dimension of Kamishibai. But you can do initial activities, discussion activities, educational activities with stories and Kamishibai, or you can just tell the stories just with your body, your soul, and without tools. Just whatever you want. Kamishibai can be a good tool also to present some historical things, ethnical things, autobiography of some famous person about sculpture. I was doing that, presenting Ivan Meštrović, who is our famous sculptor in Croatia, in Split, but also his work is forever. So this is just a suggestion, ideas, and I hope that that was useful and that you enjoyed it.
Thank you so much. It was a wonderful session.
Thank you, Eric. Thank you, Anyushi. Thank you very much. Thank you all. Have a nice day.
Very good.
Thank you, Eric, for invitation, for helping me.
Thank you.
You're a very good host. Thank you very much.
Jasmina, please take down that information I have put in the chat line.
Okay.
And hope to see you on one of those shows. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Vienna. You're very kind.